They don't live in the real world. What they do is okay. Everybody else has to toe the line. Yeah.
But I only hope that the environment that they have disturbed can get back to its natural state as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. And I hope that they will provide the funding for that and ensure that it's done.
We are here in the beautiful town of Banff, Alberta, one of the most pristine ecological havens in North America. But this week, it's not just tourists making their way into the mountain paradise. It's world leaders, security convoys, and climate czars gathering for the 2025 G7 summit just up the road in Kananaskis. And in preparation for their arrival in a town known for coexisting with wildlife, officials have removed surrounding buffalo berries to prevent bears from wandering close to the site. In 2002, Parks Canada made headlines after killing a bear that inched too close to town. So this time around, their strategy was to remove their food source in order to keep them away. And to install fencing around the Kananaskis Village security zone, they've actually cut down a large number of trees. My colleague Sydney Fazard caught it on camera earlier. Take a look.
They've even developed what looks like a security fence around the hotel. Now, this is clearly a recent installation. You can still see some of the equipment set up over there and everything like that. It looks like they might have a pole set up so that they can put security cameras on the perimeter.
The irony is hard to ignore. Leaders have come here to talk about topics such as climate change, protecting nature, while simultaneously disturbing wildlife, culling vegetation, and turning Kananaskis into a fenced-off security zone. The message, climate action is important, unless it gets in the way of their meetings. Let's go talk with some of the people around the town and see how they feel about these issues. Do you feel any hypocrisy from the G7 delegates coming here to an ecological haven, of course coming in on their private jets, removing trees to put fences around, and then of course also removing the native berries from the bears? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously living in the national park, we want to have bears and wildlife as our primary concern. I feel like we have a duty to respect the wildlife. Not totally sure about why they would need to remove food, like the bear's primary food source. Buffalo berries, I mean, yeah, they come into season a little bit later, so maybe they're not quite ripe, but it doesn't really make sense to me personally.
Things like bears aren't a huge threat to normal day people, and I don't think they'd be a very big threat to anybody else in the area.
Yeah, not great. I think if the holding of the summit is going to mean damage to local ecosystems and, stuff that's in place already, then it shouldn't be held there. Or, safety is important, but safety, shouldn't trump safety of the bears.
Well, I suppose it's taking, their food, their homes, so it's not something I necessarily agree with. I think that, the bears have, we are the guests of the area. We should respect these wildlife animals and we shouldn't interfere with anything that comes about them.
I think it's a little bit odd, to mess with nature. We're tour guides out here for a company called Rocky Mountain Trips, and, wildlife sightings and seeing what, the bears in their natural habitat is a really cool thing. So for them to be doing anything that might disrupt it, I think is bad. I don't think it's a good idea.
I think it's ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah, the bears were here first, not them.
Big Boss wouldn't be happy. The Big Boss bear, he's 600 pounds. He'd show him what to do. Yeah.
For us, we've been here a couple of days, and what I really appreciate about this country is the preservation of the wildlife. So I just don't sort of think that a bunch of world leaders should take precedence over local wildlife, really. So that's my view.
Obviously, they're here talking about climate change. And would you guys say there is a bit of a hypocrisy because, they're out here in Banff and Kananaskis leaving a very large ecological footprint?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I would agree.
Yes, absolutely. Even the fact that everybody flew here, it seems like in this day and age, it's a very easy thing to have a conversation over the internet or, other ways.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense. It's kind of contradicting for sure. I mean, anyone with any brains could tell that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of contradictory when they're talking about that stuff and then flying in private jets and whatnot. So yeah, that applies to a lot of people. Yeah, yeah.
They don't live in the real world. What they do is okay. Everybody else has to toe the line. Yeah.
Do you have any comments on this?
I think they should leave it alone and leave it as nice as it is and not make it what they want it to be for their short visit. Because it shouldn't be. It's just disgusting.
They built a beautiful ski area up here, and they counted the trees that they took down, and they took down one tree more than they were supposed to, so they had to plant a tree in the middle of the ski run. There's one lone pine tree there to make up for the one they cut down.
I wonder if the G7 officials are going to plant back the trees that they removed to put up their fences. Guess we'll see.
I doubt it. When they leave, they leave. Good riddance.
We're going to go back and check, and we'll let you guys know what happens.
And we're paying for this. We're taxpayers in the United States, and we're paying for all these people to be here, and it's a joke.
Well, folks, if you look behind me, they've actually removed the Banff sign when you're coming into town. They've left the prongs up, and I guess they were nice enough to leave the rocks. What are your thoughts on the Banff sign being completely removed and the Kananaskis sign being replaced by the G7 Summit sign?
I don't really know why they did that. I think Banff sign was there, or shouldn't have been in that place anyways, but that's a complete unrelated.
Not a great look.
Yeah, no, obviously it's not a great thing. I think that the G7, it could have happened anywhere. Why did it have to happen in a national park where they've obviously come in, just security risk and everything has come and ruined all of this area. I'm not too stoked about it, but again, what can we do?
Oh, I had no idea. That's why it's missing.
Oh, I didn't know
Wow, that sounds selfish.
that either. Yeah,
Like-
that's insane. Okay.
I mean, they could have just put something up somewhere else. I mean,
Or beside it.
yeah, or beside it. But yeah, it seems a little selfish. But
They have no right to do those things. This is a beautiful community. They should leave it alone.
I would say certainly. I don't think we would accept that down back at home. The town is still here, and it doesn't need to be renamed or anything like that. Keep the sign. That sounds to be a bit peckish.
I can't really seem to reason why they would remove the Banff sign here. Banff is a beautiful town where people come in from all over the world just to come here. So it wouldn't make much sense for them to remove the entrance sign, but a lot of the things they do at the G7 doesn't make much sense. So what's new here? If you want to see all of our on-the-ground coverage and reports of the G7 Summit, head to g7reports.com. As always, stay strong and stay free. For Rebel News, I'm Angelica Toy.